everyone. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Intentional Youth Ministry. Today, the title of this episode is simply this: The Power of No. The Power of No. Thinking back over my time as a youth pastor and in full-time ministry, I wish this is a concept that I grabbed a hold of a little bit sooner. But I want to encourage you guys with this today. I think there's something huge to be said about understanding, really, as a leader, as a pastor, what should we be saying yes to and what should we be saying no to? I think oftentimes, right, in ministry, we kind of take on this like, hey, anytime anybody asks us to do anything, and let's be honest, we get asked by multiple ministries and multiple people in our church and our organization to do things, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, there's nothing wrong with helping people across ministries or across areas of your church. In fact, we celebrate that. One of the things that we do at the church that I work for is we celebrate when people kind of go outside of their job description to help another ministry or another area. So I think that's great. But what I would encourage you with is to be careful when it comes to what you're saying yes to and what you're saying no to. In fact, I'll say it this way: don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. So if I was here having a face-to-face conversation with you, I would ask you this question: what is it that God has called you to do? What is it He's called you to do? And if your response to me, let's just use youth ministry, right? Hopefully, hopefully youth ministry is the thing. But if it's youth ministry, if you can say, man, I feel passionate about student ministry and raising up young people and pastoring them, then I would say this. I would say then you need to make sure that everything that you're saying yes to is helping you to accomplish the very thing that God has called you to do, right? Because whatever you're saying yes to means you have to say no to something else. So make sure you're saying yes to the right things and no to the right things. So in other words, over the years, guys, I have learned how to be intentional about saying, hey, no, I can't help with that, because if I do that, if I say yes to you over here, it's going to mean I have to say no to over here, and this is the thing that God has called me to do. I'll also encourage you with this. Another way you could look at it is this: you sometimes, especially for those of you that are young leaders, you need to be okay with saying no to opportunities that come that look like it's a great opportunity, right? Like, hey, an opportunity for you to take a new position in the church, or an elevation or a promotion, or whatever those kind of things are. It's easy sometimes for us to get into our flesh and go, man, that sounds great. It comes with more pay, or it comes with a better title, or it comes with a bigger office, fill in the blank, a bigger budget. So we jump in and we say yes to something that isn't what God's called us to do. Over the years, can I just be honest, there's been opportunities where I've been asked by different times in leadership, like, hey, would you consider jumping into this role? Or, hey, we have this new role or this promotion kind of thing, role for you. We think you'd be great at it. Would you do this? And guys, honestly, there have been times where I have looked and I've said, hey, thank you so much for considering me. I'm flattered, I'm honored. But no, I'm confident that God has called me to focus on this. And so if I say yes to you, while it sounds good on paper, I'm ultimately doing something that God hasn't called me to do. Guys, once you understand what God has called you to do, I would encourage you to unapologetically stay in that lane. Become a master in the thing that God has called you to do. Again, it's just learning what to say yes to, what to say no to, so that you can effectively do what God's called you to do. The other side of that, guys, which is huge, is it's also going to help you understand and how to have a good balance of rest in your life, which we're going to hit in the very next episode. Part 2 really of this one, I want to talk to you guys about living and leading from a place of rest. Because the truth is, what you say yes to, what you say no to, in a great way is affecting your ability to lead and live from a place of rest. So hopefully that encourages you guys. Again, just learn what to say yes to, what to say no to. Don't feel guilty for saying no to things that are pulling you away from the very thing that God has called you to focus on in your life. Hope that encourages you guys. Stay tuned for part 2 of this episode coming at you soon on how to live and lead from a place of rest. Take care.